Welcome, MSBC family. I'm Deacon Nate, and I have the awesome privilege of welcoming you to the Black Mental Wellness Lounge, the youth perspective. This is a conversation with our youth. It's much needed. So welcome, and let's get ready to listen to our young people's hearts, minds, as they share in this youth perspective. God bless you.
Hello everyone, I am Brandon Johnson. I am a member at Morningstar Baptist Church, but I'm also the founder and the creator of the Black Mental Wellness Lounge, which is a YouTube channel specifically dedicated to the Black community to have conversations around mental health. We've done all sorts of topics around youth mental health, faith in mental health. So if you're interested, definitely check that out on YouTube. But today, I'm here at Morningstar on location with my church family to have a conversation with the youth ministry to talk specifically around mental health, feelings, and emotions. So today we're gonna have an open and honest conversation. We're gonna be keeping it real, keeping it 100, like really getting into what does mental health look like for our young people, and most importantly, how can we support them and how can we make sure that they're good with their mental health, feelings, and emotions. And so today I have this illustrious panel with me. And so I'm going to have them introduce themselves to you all, and then we'll go right into the conversation. So we welcome you all on this episode with us. So I'm gonna start to my right. Josh, I'm gonna have you introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Joshua. I'm 15 years old.
Thank you. Miles.
My name is Miles. I'm 16 years old.
Kayla.
Hi, my name is Kayla, and I'm 16 years old.
And last but not least.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm 15 years old.
Awesome. So I'm excited to have this conversation with y'all today. Excited to get into this conversation. So again, as we talked about before, just open, honest conversation, really getting into these things as well. So I want to start off with something that we've been seeing in the media, something that's been a big deal, something that we've, kind of been talking about for the last month or two. Do you all know, tell me about Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka. Do you all know, when I say those names, do you all know who they are?
Nah,
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie, that doesn't ring a bell. I don't. Nah.
All right, just ring the bell for any of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Maya, you want to take it?
Okay, I can go first. I know that both of them, they're both like Olympic athletes. I know Naomi she plays tennis, right?
Yes.
Naomi plays tennis, and then Simone does gymnastics. I know they both resigned, or not resigned, but they withdrew from the Olympics because of their mental health. I do know that.
Absolutely. You ring a bell now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Kayla, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, same thing that Maya said. They recently took a break from just participating in the Olympics, just to take a break from everything that was going on, to kind of debrief from the overwhelming, just it being overwhelming, them being in the Olympics and them dealing with the press. I know Naomi talked about the press, and I know that Simone Biles specifically talking about her troubles with being sexually assaulted and that whole thing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Anything to add?
I know they both had a lot of trouble with the media, that people were always crowding around them, expecting them to do a lot more than they thought they could.
Yeah. So, anything you good?
Yeah, it was just like a lot of criticism on them. Yeah, in the media.
Absolutely. So, these are two Olympians, right? Like they're, on the biggest stage. I mean, that's a world stage. That's not this stage. That's not the U.S. stage. That's the world stage, right? And they took that opportunity to be like, I can't do this anymore, right? Like this doesn't fulfill me anymore. Like, this isn't giving me, what it used to give me. So like, how do y'all feel about that? Like, what are y'all thoughts about them doing that?
You want to go? Okay, I can. Personally, I think it takes a lot of courage and just a lot of stuff to do that, since they, a lot of people are looking up to them, depending on them, or looking at what are you going to do next, and they withdraw from the Olympics. So I know they got a lot of mixed reviews. Some people were like, yeah, I go off. And then some people were like, why would you do that? Like, what's wrong with you? So I think it takes a lot of preparing for that, like mentally and just in general, because you have to prepare for your team to look at you maybe sideways, maybe not. And then the whole world, honestly, because even people who aren't in the U.S. might be like, what? Like, why would they do that? Like, let their whole team down and, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I seen it one way, but then the other way I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to be like selfish because I know people got their personal problems, right?
Right.
So I was looking at it like, yeah, she got her personal problems, but as an athlete, sports is my escape.
Yeah,
so it's like that would have helped me more than it would have hurt me. So I don't know. I had both opinions on it.
Okay, so you can see it two ways because you're a student athlete. Okay, and tell the people out there, what sports do you play, Miles?
Football and track.
Football and track. Okay, cool.
I think as women of color, I feel like that was like very bold of them to do, like in a good way. I feel like with them like being on that big stage, on that big platform, I think it was really good that they were like, okay, I'm going to take this for me. And yeah, I'm in the Olympics right now and this, that, and the third. But they still acknowledged that they were struggling and they stopped. So I think that was good.
That's cool. You got anything, Josh?
Not to add, nothing.
Okay. So for that, my question to you all is, do you all think you could have done that? Like if you were on that stage, Olympic stage, you about to go out and do your thing and you feeling this inside, like there's something going on that it's not feeling the same way as before. Do you all feel like you could have maybe done that on that stage?
I probably could have, because if I'm not going to perform my best, then I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so you felt like if I'm not going to go there and I'm not going to be able to get at the level that I want to, then I'd rather just not do it. Okay, cool. That's bold. How about you all?
Go ahead. I feel like if I know that sports is my calling, then I feel like it's gonna motivate me more, and then yeah.
Cool. Okay. So you felt like because you've been in that, in that arena, like you've done those sports things, that would have been of benefit, so you would have done it. Okay. And you guys have any thoughts?
I love to say like, oh yeah, I totally do it, but I can't say that because like deep down, like I'd be like what Josh said, like you want to give your best or nothing at all. But at the same time, I feel like even if I technically do the right thing for my team, I feel like I'd be doing a completely wrong thing. Like I'd be abandoning my team, and I just feel like if I'm not mentally there, I just push through it anyways. Because that's what I do sometimes. Like not a good thing, but so I can't say I 100% would do it. So I don't know.
Okay, so not sure.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know either, because I feel like on one hand, like I agree with everyone else. On the other hand, like I'm at the Olympics right now, so I'm like maybe I need to just put that aside and kind of just like get it through. I don't know. I guess it depends on the severity of how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling like absolutely horrible, then I'm like, I don't know. But if I can push through, like Maya said, then I'm going to.
Okay. I want to point out something that each of you said in your answers. Each of you all put it in the first person perspective and said how I would do it. This is what I think I would do. This is what I know to do, and this is where I think I would have gone with this, right? So essentially, like you all tap it into yourselves and what you all know about yourselves to give me that answer. So one of the things that we can learn from Naomi and Simone is really to understand and know yourself. Be able to check in with yourself and understand, how you're feeling and, what emotions and things that you're having, because they were very self-aware. You have to be extremely self-aware to walk away, as you said, from your destiny, your passion. Like to walk away from that is major. If you're like, I've always wanted to sing at this big stage or sing at like the Oscars or the Emmys or the Grammys or something like that. Kayla was about to sing earlier today, but then she decided not to. But if you're like, this is my thing, and you get up there and be like, nah, you know what? I'm going to crack if I go out there, so I'm not going to do it. But we can equate this just to our lives, right? Like there are some things that we may get involved with where we're like, this isn't quite it. And so being able to check in with our emotions is a really good thing for us. And so I want us now to to do that, to check in with our emotions now. And so I want to pose this question to you all. What are like 3 emotions that you felt in the last 24 hours? Like just today, like, I mean, just the past 24 hours in a day. Like, what are 3 emotions that you felt? I can start with mine. So I would say anxious. So I've been a little anxious. I would say overwhelmed and then excited, right? So excited to be having this conversation with you all today. And then, you know, anxiety is about life stuff. So like, how about y'all? And take a second to think about it, because it does take a while to kind of go into that. But if you can start with one, if you want to start with one.
I say that I've been anxious a lot.
Okay.
Last 24 hours, thankful.
Thankful. That's a good one.
Yeah. And I guess like relaxed.
Relax. That's a good
Yeah.
one. I like that. Anybody else?
I was a little bit nervous to come onto the panel.
That's we good. We good. Okay, so nervous. That's one. You want to give me 2 others, or you sticking with it?
Stick with that one.
We'll lock nervous in. Okay, y'all got one yet?
I know, like yesterday, since I didn't have school, which I guess I just didn't have school, I was kind of relieved because I got to sleep in. 'Cause I stayed up till like 3 a.m. like the night before, because I was like, I don't gotta wake up early.
Right.
So I was relieved. But then I had
Okay.
a bunch of like work to catch up on. Not even catch up on, just a bunch of notes to take and just studying and stuff. So I was a little overwhelmed with that.
Okay.
But then, like, you know, I was kind of relaxed because I didn't have to really do anything. You know, I was just doing
Okay.
whatever I wanted.
That's
the most
good.
part.
That's good. I can't do any 3 a.m. days anymore. I can't do it. The next day I'm done. I'm just out. Kayla, you got any?
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of don't even remember the past 24 hours. I don't know.
Okay.
I would say I was like anxious, because I'm always anxious. I can never find myself to like calm down. Restful.
Okay. That's
Like-
good.
Like Maya said, we didn't have school today, so I was able to kind of rest and like reset and just to lay there.
Cool.
And I think that's it. I don't really have to.
2 is good. 2 is good. Okay. So you all put out some emotions. First of all, answering that question, did it take you a minute to really like think through like your emotions?
Yeah.
Right? So that's not something that we naturally always do. It's usually typically people will be like, how are you? You good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah, and that's everybody's answer real quick. I'm good, I'm fine, like everything's good, even necessarily when you're not, right? So with that, you guys gave a mix of like, you know, positive and, you know, not so great emotions. So let me ask you this. If you all have a negative emotion, right? Angry, mad, anxious, frustrated, nervous. If you have a negative emotion, do you all have a strategy? Like, do you know a way to make yourself have yourself get out of that negative emotion?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, like I tend to like shut everything out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I'll like just I mean it's kind of a way of coping.
Okay.
You know, just to get over stuff, but like I'll probably just shut down and then get myself back together later.
Okay. Cool. So shut everything out.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I would say like I find myself getting frustrated a lot. So something that I do or something I can look forward to while I'm doing is like I'll like get food, like take out food or just like something that I really enjoy, and then I'll watch my favorite show and I'll just be by myself, and I find that like being able to relax and do something that I enjoy helps me feel better.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I tend to like separate myself because like I don't have a problem, you know, having my own time. So like automatically, if I can't, I know sometimes like I can't control my emotions. Sometimes it's just like, boom, like that's it. You know, I'm mad.
Right.
I'm saying what I need to say,
Right.
which isn't, which isn't always the best thing. But that's
But it's
just,
real. It's
right.
it's
That's
a
how
real
it is
thing.
sometimes.
Right.
But other times I just kind of separate myself. So like if I'm in school, I just like like don't talk to me. Not like that, but I just if I do talk, it's very short responses. I'm not. And then after
Sure.
a while, like if I'm around people, it's like, I warm up a little bit. Like after I can just like think to myself, not necessarily like bottling my emotions, but
Yeah.
I deal with them myself. And I've
Okay.
learned to do that more efficiently. So
That's good. That's good. That's good. Josh, you go.
I try to remove myself from the situation so I don't
Okay.
get angry at a certain person. I've been trying to do that more often.
Okay, so like not confronting the person and kind of like getting yourself away from that situation. Okay, okay. It sounded like you was thinking about somebody specifically when you said that. That you was like, I gotta walk away. But that's cool. So that's great. So you guys also mentioned some positive emotions. So for the things that when things are going good and when you're like at here, like you just like everything good, you walk outside like sun shining, birds saying like everything is good. Do you all know how to stay? Like, do you have strategies to keep yourself in there as long as possible?
No.
No? Okay, so Kayla said no.
Yeah, no. Cause
No.
like it's always something that's gonna bring it back down. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, tell me more about it. Give me
Like-
some more with that.
say you wake up, you know, like you said, sunshine and
Yeah.
all that, you happy, and then it's like one thing, it'll just, oh my goodness, like it'll bring you back
Yeah.
down. Like you'll be like, oh yeah, nope, this is real life again. Like no,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you all thinking about that next thing that's gonna bring it
Yeah,
down?
I
What
feel
when you're
like-
in that space?
I feel like that's kind of like my main problem and what I like have a hard time with, and why I really can't ever be fully happy is because like I know that something bad is gonna happen. I'm kind of just waiting for it. to
Waiting
happen.
for the thing to come around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally, I usually don't try to look like, oh, something bad's gonna happen. Which I think that's why when it does happen, I'm just like, it's like I
right.
climbed this giant mountain. I'm like, yes, and someone kicks me off.
Yeah.
Like
Gotcha.
it's like, what in the world? And it's just I can't. Like
Yeah.
it's so like why I don't know. It's like a big jump from emotions.
Gotcha.
Like I'll be like here and then like right back down further than where I would have been like before or something.
Okay. Got you.
I'm always thinking about it because if I'm thinking about it and I'm preparing for it, then I'm not surprised when it happens.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it doesn't weigh you down as much when you always do.
expect the unexpected.
Okay. So y'all like basically I'm gonna stay ready so I ain't gotta get ready. When something happens that's gonna throw me off, like I'm prepared for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a really good perspective, and thank you all for being so open with that. So I would mention a couple of things. I would say, one of the things that we need to build is a emotions and feelings support toolbox. So essentially, having tools and strategies that when you're in a good place, to have some things that you can do to stay there. What you all described, is essentially life, right? There are some things that are going to pop up that we have no control over, that we're not going to expect, that we don't, expect to happen, things that we don't want to happen, but things that happen. So we want to build up some things to do when we're not feeling well. So whether it's you guys mentioned, reading, not reading. You guys mentioned TV. You guys mentioned certain foods that make you feel better. Going into your own separate spaces. So it's important to have those spaces as well, but also some tips and tools and strategies to do to remain happy. So whether it's exercising or working out or mine is music. Hands
Yeah.
down, mine is music. My music portfolio is crazy. If I gave y'all my Apple Music right now, it's everything. So that's my tool. That's my main tool in my toolbox to know, if I'm in a good mood, I'm gonna play something that's gonna keep me there. And then I got a certain playlist or certain songs and stuff. If I'm down and out, I need to, go there to kind of build myself back up. So can you all think of a time where you weren't feeling so great and you had found, something that really helped you, or someone, said something that really helped you in that moment to kind of pick yourself up? So it could be anything. It could be a thing. It could be a person. It could be an event.
I guess like you said, music, because I'm real big on music.
Who you like? I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
I don't know. I don't really know. It's like a
So it's just a movie.
yeah, but it's not so big on who I like, cause I also make music too.
Oh, okay, cool.
So if I'm feeling good, I'll go downstairs, make a song or something. And,
That's dope.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that. You are anybody else?
I agree with music as well. who I listen to when I'm in like a good mood. When I'm in a good mood, I'll listen to like Kanye West. Kanye's my favorite.
Okay.
Or like one of my favorites. Or like old J. Cole or like old Drake. I don't know.
I got
Just
you.
chill music or like really old music like Tupac and Biggie and Lauryn Hill. Like just really vibey music to kind of keep me there. So yeah, that helps. I agree with the music part.
Okay. Cool. Maya, do you have one?
Yeah, sometimes. Well, like I think a lot of people can agree on like music does help. I can't really think of like specific artists, but I know
Yeah.
like a song. Like if I listen to it, I'll just like dance it out. Like that's what I do sometimes too.
So
like, I'll
dance.
listen to-
Okay.
mhm. Not even like seriously, but just like just move around some and then listen to music. So I like listening to Pocket Full of Sunshine. Because like
That's
that
cool.
song,
That's cool.
like that song just puts me in a good mood. Even if I'm not in a good mood, it just makes me like okay, you know.
Awesome. That's
Just hype.
awesome. That's awesome. Josh, you got one?
I try to stay out of situations that would bring me down.
Okay. So staying out of places that you know is going to change your mood or make you feel worse.
Yes.
Okay. Absolutely. So some things we can add to our toolbox, like we can, put in there, eating a certain food. Physical activity is another one. So like dancing and moving, making music, is one that we can put there. If you have a book that you want to read or your favorite show that you want to watch, like those are some things that we can, tap into to really get into that state and really change those things. But we want to make sure that we have some things in our toolbox that we can take care of ourselves when those unexpected things come from. And also, the other thing I would say for a toolbox is to enjoy those moments. So like when you have those really good moments, lock into those. Because you know that they don't, we know that they don't last forever. Like, that's life. But if you get that opportunity, like, just bask in, like, a really good day. Like, just sit down and, like, have a really good day. Another thing that we can do for your toolbox is, I know you brought up being thankful earlier, Miles, is in some type of journal or even in your notes on your phone. When you have a really good day, like, write down those things that really made it a good day. Like, what were those things? And, like, talk about, like, things that made you grateful today. So like 3 things to put in your journal. Sometimes when you write those things out, they stick with you a little longer. So that's another thing we can add to our toolbox, right? So changing the conversation, moving on from the conversation. Another piece that I wanted to bring up today is having outside supports, right? So having those people outside of just yourself to help you feel better. So one thing I want to ask you all, obviously, you all have adults that are in your life. You have teachers, you have parents, you have other folks. What is one thing that you would say to an adult that you think would help them to help you with your feelings and emotions? Like what can we do as adults better, or something that we should understand about, you all to help you all have a better emotional mental health state?
Okay. I have something to say.
Be honest. You
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be.
Let it go.
One thing that I wouldn't say hate, but one thing I do hate is like if you come not even just an adult, but I know sometimes adults, at least like my parents sometimes, I know they might not mean to, but sometimes if I talk to them, it turns into like a lecture or like. Like sometimes I don't want to lecture. I don't want to know what I should have, could have, would have did. No, I don't care.
Right.
I'm just telling you what I'm just speaking. I don't want it to be turned into a life lesson or a lecture or what you would have done. Because quite frankly, I don't care. Like at least like in certain moments, it's like okay, and like
right.
what does that have to do with me right now?
So sometimes you just want to vent,
right,
and get those things out without like feeling like you're in trouble or kind of.
And that's why sometimes we go to our friends more than our parents, because our friends most of the time they might be like, well, girl, you shouldn't have did that, but like they're not gonna give it's, and then you won't really get in trouble with them because they're not your parents, so they can't really like punish you.
We're gonna talk about that friend piece in a second, but that's good. Thanks, I appreciate your transparency.
I feel like one thing parents should do or adults should do is like give us time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
you give you time. Go on.
we just like we human too. You know what I mean? So when we get in feelings and we have bad days, it's like give us time to get out of it. Don't
Gotcha.
because you know how you grow up and you'll get in trouble and you'll have a pouty face and your mom be like, oh, and you better fix the attitude too. I'm like, yo, like I can't be mad at something.
Right,
like, you know what I
right.
mean? So, just like give us time to feel the emotion and then get out of it. You know what I mean?
Give you time to feel the emotion. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. Josh, Kayla?
I agree with what I think Miles. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with what Miles said.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that?
I think you said it all.
Okay. Cool. Kayla, you got anything?
I think that for my parent, well, I don't want to say my parents specifically, but for my parents, I need them, like, sometimes it's like, there's like a sort of judgment because it's like, I don't know how to say it. It's like they pretend like they were never my age, and it's like, oh, well, here we, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I do something, like, you knew, like, you did that. Like, you know that you did that before. Like, I don't know why you acting like you've never, no, I don't know why.
I guess you.
So I'm like, just remember that you were 16 once too, and remember how you would wanted your parents to treat you,
Sure.
or whoever they were with, or whoever were providing for them at the moment, how you wanted them to treat you. Like, I know that you don't want me to make the same mistakes that you did, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be given room to make mistakes. And I know, like, yes, there will be punishments, and yes, like, this, that, and the third. But I feel like sometimes it's like, well, that's your fault. Like, I feel like that's how it should be. Like, oh, that was on you, so oh well. Like,
Take the L.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, I feel sometimes it's like no relatability. I feel like it's just like such like a big like difference, and that kind of like
Gotcha.
puts me down. And it's like, well, I don't know. And it also kind of like ties into like me having to feel like I have to be like my parents and like perfect like them.
Okay.
So I feel like it all like ties into like that.
That's good. That's a good point. I appreciate y'all honesty and y'all openness with that. So, like, how do you all deal with like expectations, right? Like, you all are in school, so I know you're all in school. I know you all have grades that you gotta get. You got assignments you gotta do. Y'all have talked about extracurriculars that you all have. You all are active in church. Like, how do you all feel about those expectations, and like, how do you all manage those expectations that you have at your age? Go ahead. Yeah.
I've gotten better at it because like a couple like years ago, it feel like I have to do everything, like I can't do anything else. But like now, because like not that I've talked to my parents, but like we've just talked more, and
Okay.
they will tell me because like you know I know my dad, like his grades weren't really the best, so like that's why he's kind of not hard on me sometimes,
Yeah.
but he's very like straight A's because
Right.
he didn't have anywhere near straight A's, so he's
Yeah.
like he wants me to do better, and I understand that. And I know my mom, like, I just doing, both of my parents personally, like, at my age, I'm doing way better than they did. Like, I just am. Because they
Yeah.
told me. Not
Right.
because I'm, like, I'm
Right.
better than them. Like, I'm not
Right.
trying to say
We're not
better than
judging you.
them.
We're
It's
not
because they
judging
told me. They told me, like,
Yeah.
I didn't do anything like that. So it's like, I think about them, like, you didn't even do. I'm like, I kind of tell myself that I'm like, I'm doing a lot better. You know, just
Right,
in
right.
general. One than them and than other people. And I know, like, I can't use that as an excuse to do bad. But it's like,
Yeah.
it's like I'm doing a lot, like, and I'm managing, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, so
Like, I don't wanna hear
so
it.
checking in and making and like I'm doing well, right? Like I'm doing what I can at the time. So like that's also what we talked about earlier about checking in with yourself. Like even when you feel like, you know, those pressures may be a lot or mountain, that you're essentially like, you know, I'm checking in and I'm doing good with what I'm doing. Like I'm happy with my effort. I'm happy with my output. So to give you some of that relief, right? Okay, cool. Anybody else?
I feel like growing up now, I feel like I know what to expect of my parents. Like I know
Okay.
what they expect out of me, but I also got to do stuff for myself. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I got to expect stuff for myself.
Mm.
So,
Okay,
you know.
cool.
So a lot of my values or things I live by, my parents also do.
Okay.
So if like I wouldn't go out to a party and act up because they wouldn't do it, I wouldn't
Right.
do it. I don't want to get in trouble. They don't want me to get in trouble.
Okay, cool. So just understanding what those boundaries are. So like knowing your boundaries, your parents' boundaries. Absolutely. Kayla, you got anything?
Yeah, I agree with Josh. Pretty much, like, some of the stuff they don't want me to do, I wouldn't do anyways. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
That works. So, you know, so in that, taking away from that conversation, you know, it's okay not to be perfect, right? And it's okay to feel how you feel. I think it's one thing for, you know, for us, even in our toolboxes, you know, parents and adults can be supports in making sure that we're, you know, communicating and understanding, you know, like as a part of that, like, you know, how you feel. And letting them know where you are, how you're feeling, and to allow them to let you feel the way that you feel in those supports as well. So, all right. So, what about your friends? You mentioned it. So, with your friends, you know, do y'all have conversations about this? Like, do y'all talk about stuff like, I'm upset today, like, I'm angry, like, I'm mad? Like, do y'all have any conversations with your friends about that?
Definitely.
You're like, definitely, Maya shaking her head, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't talk about how I feel a lot.
So you don't mention it. So you like we don't talk about that. So your conversations stay like up here. So what about if it's not a bad thing? What about if it's good? Do you talk about your friends with that?
I would do it, but I don't like to bring up things, you know. I
Okay.
don't like to bring up the bad things, and I don't want to like brag about the good things. I don't want to.
Okay. So you feel like just keeping that there is like an important piece for you. Okay. Cool. So you all said that you do talk to your friends about, like, how do those conversations go? Like, do you feel like you can be open and you can be honest with your friends and kind of really talk about those things?
Yeah, because it's like there's certain stuff you can tell your friends that you can't tell your parents, but you wouldn't tell your parents because you're not going to talk about your parents to your parents. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah, just sit down and be like, my mother getting on my nerves.
yeah, like,
What was
like
that?
I don't like how you did that. Like,
Right.
no, like, no. So,
Okay. So you're able to get out certain things that you can't get out
Yeah.
otherwise. Okay.
I feel like I do it a lot.
Okay.
Personally, I want to sound sad, but I really don't have friends. I guess it's like a personal choice.
Yeah.
I have like one, well, I don't have friends, but I have my best friend is who I kind of talk about like a lot. I talk to her a lot about how I'm feeling, and I think that's like what the basis of our friendship is. Like, that's what makes it so strong, and that it's because we're able to be open with each other, and we're able to like, well, girl, I feel like this, and it's like, well, you shouldn't even feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
we really just have that like sort of comfortability with each other, where we're able to be open. So yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. Listen, sometimes you just need the one good one.
Yeah.
That's sometimes that's really all you need. As an adult, you'll get older. You'll understand that for sure. Maya, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I have like, I wouldn't say I have a whole lot of friends, but like, I have, friends I can talk to.
Yeah.
But I do have one friend, like, specifically where I feel like me and her, like, we always talk about like, just mental health. We talk about everything. Like,
That's cool.
And it's like, if I tell her something or if she tells me something and it's like, why would you do that? It's not like we're yelling at each other. It's like, we just laugh at each other because it's like, why would you do that?
Right.
Like, it's like we can always laugh about stuff. And it's like, we kind of like, not read each other's minds, but it's like, we'll say like
yeah.
the same thing all the
That's
time.
so weird.
Because I remember, like, she didn't come to school. I don't even know. She didn't come to school.
Yeah.
She was like, because I was like, where are you at? Because, like, in the morning, like, everyone's kind of in the same spot.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of by grade. So it's like, and we all sit together. So it's like, where are you at? And she was like, oh, I'm not coming to school today. And I was like, mental day. She was like, yeah. I was like, she was like, see how you knew? I was like, yeah, I know. So it's like,
That's
we kind of
cool.
just, like, we kind of know how we
Yeah.
are. So it's like, if I do something, she's like, don't do that. I'm like, why? She's like, because I know you're going to do it. And it's like, okay. It's like, I
That's
guess I won't.
awesome. That's awesome. It's good to have those bonds where you can talk, as long as you're getting good feedback and good information, and they're not telling you to do anything, negative. It's a good thing to have those, and it's a good thing to rely on those in both times. So I would say too, there's also some times where we have stresses and concerns that kind of go beyond like friends and parents and things like that. And so in that moment, we may need some additional supports. So I'm going to throw out two things. Y'all don't got to do it now, but I feel like everybody, adult, young person, whatever, should have these in their phone. I'm going to give y'all this specific one because y'all are younger and y'all don't like talking on the phone. Do y'all talk on the phone or y'all just text?
Depends who you are.
I don't even like talking on the phone anymore, and I'm older than y'all. But
I can't,
awkward.
like, texting is just not it. Like,
so you don't like texting?
yeah, like, talking on the phone is better than texting.
You the one person. Listen.
Yeah. Because it's like, I can start a conversation more just talking because I can get your feedback. You know what I mean? Like your
I
body,
respect
like
it.
you know what I mean? Like yeah.
I respect it. I gotta get better with that then. So, two things I want y'all, not like I said, not now, but to put in your phones, and anybody who's watching, if you're an adult or young person, to have these in your phones are definitely things to add to your toolbox as well. So the first one is crisis text line. So it's a 24/7, 365 text number that you can text if you're stressed, dealing with some stuff, and you want to specifically talk to somebody without like getting on the phone, right? So you would just need to text the word home to 741-741, and instantly you answer a couple of questions and you're able to get connected to somebody who can talk, help you talk through whatever you're dealing with. The other one is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And let me clear this up. You do not have to be thinking about suicide or harming yourself to reach out to this number. This number is a support line. You can just be like, I'm having a bad day and I need to vent to somebody, and all my friends are busy. and you can reach out to this number. It's 1-800-273-8255. Okay, and I think it's up on the screen behind me. And so 1-800-273-8255. Those are, again, numbers that we can go beyond if we need something in addition and in support beyond like what we can get from our friends and our family. So the other thing that I want to address, and we're going to address this part and wrap it up, but as a part of this, sometimes when we deal with mental health challenges, things that are, messing with our, emotions and things, it is one of the things we need to add to our toolbox is our spiritual tools, right? So like, praying about it, reading our Bible and things like that. Have you all incorporated any of that into when you're having a rough day and you're stressed out? Have any of you incorporated that into when you deal with those things?
Yeah.
Okay, how you want to?
I feel like praying just helps me have a better day in general.
Okay.
So if I get up in the morning and I pray, then, it doesn't make, I don't know how to explain it. It just helps me feel better.
Okay. So you do, so when you have those things, prayer help you feel better? Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Definitely.
Okay. So you said you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Anyway.
I feel like praying helps me bring awareness to like what it is I need or what like just where I'm at mentally and just in general like where I'm at. So I just feel like it helps. Even if I'm not talking to like a person who's right next to me, it's just like even if I'm just talking like in general, it's just
Okay. Absolutely. So prayer is one of the things that we can add to our toolbox as well. And one of the things that I always say and always tell people is that people in the Bible like struggle with like stress, anxiety, and those things as well. When we even talk about Jesus and getting into his journey when he was here on earth, like he was stressed out and he was also frustrated with his friends. The disciples messed up a couple times where he had to be like, what are y'all doing, like, and getting them together. So there are even challenges and things that are, spiritual in nature that we deal with that can be frustrating for our emotions and things as well. There may be times too, I'm sure all of us have those moments where, you've prayed for something and it didn't happen in the way that you thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Has anybody like experienced that? You don't have to give a specific thing, but like, has anybody like had that happen where you like, I don't need this thing to happen and it doesn't happen the way that you want?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anybody want to? Because y'all said everybody was like 100% pot. Anybody want to share something? And again, you don't have to. No. No, bro, that's fine.
Nah.
And that's personal. So, with that, like, staying, praying, being prayed up and things like that, and reading our Bible and going to those things, and even just this, like, right? So, like, being in fellowship with your, friends from the church, people that share your same spiritual values can help you navigate those spaces beyond what we can do, just with our mental health and wellness as well. Kayla, can you read Philippians 4:6-7 for me, please?
Okay. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Jesus Christ.
So with that, a lot of people feel like that means that we can't be anxious. And I don't believe that that's what it says. I believe that what that's saying is that when you are stressed, when you are anxious, when you are dealing with things, when you are overwhelmed, that we can go to God because he understands it, and we can get into that specifically with him. We can share that frustration, share that stress, because again, we have examples throughout the Bible of people who've experienced it as well. And so what that's saying is that God is understanding of that. He wouldn't have put it in there if he didn't think we were going to deal with it. If he didn't think we were going to struggle, he wouldn't specifically say and put, don't be anxious in there, because he knows we are. And that's why he's gifted our friends, our adults in our spaces. He's gifted the people around the church who are here to support you. He's also gifted, therapists and counselors and things like that to be able to deal with our mental health concerns. And so that's what we need to hang on to as well, is that God understands those things, and that we can go to go to him, because I've had some things in my life where I'm like, this don't make a lick of sense, and I will go and like pray about it, and I may not get the thing or the answer immediately, but day by day and just trusting that it starts to get revealed in that space as well. So the other thing we want to put in our toolbox is our faith and our spirituality into our toolbox as well. So this is it. I appreciate our conversation. Is there anything that you all want to say is like a lasting thing for, for someone else your age, like who may, be having struggles with that, with their mental health or emotions? Is there anything that you all want to say to them in this moment also?
That it's okay to struggle, and it's not the end of the world, and that it's not going to last forever.
Awesome. It's not going to last forever.
I guess like one thing that helped me get through stuff is like somebody could always have it worse. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
being grateful.
Yeah.
Again, that thankful piece you talked about.
One thing that's helped me is if it doesn't matter in 10 years, then you shouldn't be worried about it.
Yeah, I feel like you got an old soul, Josh. You just like, look, in 10 years from now, you're not going to think about it anyway. But all right, cool. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate that. Anything on your end?
I can just add, don't be afraid to like use your resources. So whether that's a person or just like the resources that you gave us, like don't be afraid to reach out. Don't feel like you have to do everything by yourself or alone. So.
Awesome. Y'all could do this. Y'all don't need me up here. Y'all can do this yourselves. But again, thank you all so much. Thank you to my panel. Thank you to everyone who has watched this. Hopefully these resources and this conversation has been helpful. So thank you all so much.
Wow. Thank you, Brother Brandon and our youth, for such a powerful conversation. Okay, family. I pray that this conversation encourages another young person, and also pray that our friends and family of our youth are now empowered to have key conversations to equip our youth to be mentally well. God bless you, and remember, as always, Royalty is so thankful for your support. Shout out to our pastor, Bishop Debnam, and our First Lady Carla Debnam. Good night, everybody. Peace.